Today, I just want to go ahead and go over some general KidneyVault information and how you'll set up your assembly and your back table in the OR. You already have your sterile instruments opened up onto your back table to do your kidney dissection. In addition to the normal instruments you have, you're going to want to have a luer lock syringe. We recommend 30 milliliters or above. And then you also have the option of using cystotubing. This typically already comes in your OR packs. For the cannulas that come with the KidneyVault system, you have multiple options. You'll have two oval options. The sizes are 7 by 20 or a 10 by 35. In order to open up the cannula, you'll go ahead and push this clasp forward, releasing the cannula, and then your diameter will be matching the oval. So once again, 10 by 35 or 7 by 20. We do have multiple round cannula options. It's going to be your 3 millimeter, 5 millimeter, 7 millimeter, and 9 millimeter. In order to open up this cannula, very similar, opening up this clasp, showing your round. This will be the same diameter match to when you do your kidney anatomy. To have better access to pulling the aortic patch through, there's a hinge on this right-hand side. You'll go ahead and pull that in order to give you more visibility and allow you to pull the patch through. After the patch is through, you'll go ahead and lock it in. The additional cannula that we now have is a straight cannula, and it comes in the sizes of 4 millimeter, 6 millimeter, and 8 millimeter. For the purpose of this training, I just want to review some of the names on the cannula that we'll use moving forward. This is called your perfusion port. This is how you're going to go ahead and connect it into the internal canister. And then this is your release port and cap. This is how you're going to perform your leak test with fluid coming out of your release port, capping it, and then beginning your leak test. Once the kidneys are recovered and they have been dissected and placed on your back table, you'll go ahead and make the cannula of your choice. For today, I'm going to go ahead and use one of our rounds. I'm going to go ahead and pull the aortic patch through by going ahead and opening this right hinge to allow access to pulling that aortic patch through. Once the patch is through, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I don't create any occlusion or pinch it by closing slowly and then releasing the aortic patch, laying it flat prior to closing the cannula. When closing the cannula, you'll go ahead and press it forward, and then you'll put your thumbs on the top and press down firmly for a tight seal. Once the cannula is on, we're going to go ahead and perform a leak test. There's two ways to do the leak test. You can go ahead and use the luer lock syringe. Once again, we recommend 30 milliliters or larger, or you can use your cystotubing. I'm first going to demonstrate how to use the luer lock syringe. You'll go ahead and fill up the syringe with the fluid of your choice, and then we're going to connect it to our perfusion port. Once again, this is not a luer lock connection, so you'll have to push it in and secure it. And then you're going to squeeze and push fluid until it comes out of your release port. As the fluid's coming out of your release port, you are going to want to cap. So pressing fluid, and then I'll go ahead and cap. Once my cap is on, this is when you can go ahead and start your leak test. So up until this point, the leak test hasn't started. We've now capped, and now we're going to check the perimeter of the cannula on both sides to see if we see any fluid leaking out. If we're confident that we have a tight seal, we can go ahead and remove the luer lock syringe by pulling back and proceed with opening up the canister. If you're going to use the cystotubing to do the leak test, you will have your cap removed. Attach the cystotubing to your perfusion port. Open up your line to whatever fluid you have hung, either your flush fluid or machine perfusion solution. Open it up, once again seeing fluid coming out of your release port, and then capping. Once it's capped, same thing. Now you're going to do your leak test, continuing to check for any fluid coming out of the perimeter of the cannula. If you're confident with your leak test, you'll disconnect your cystotubing and open up your canister. The KidneyVault canister will come in a sterile peel pack in blue CSR wrapping. You'll go ahead and open it from the peel pack and remove the CSR wrapping and place it on your back table. For the KidneyVault, you'll have a dual nested canister. To remove this most external canister lid, you have 4 latches. In order to remove them, we recommend doing it at 180 degrees across from each other, lifting up, and then doing the other 2 inches, once again 180 degrees. You can then move the handle and just remove the top lid. And now we're going to want to remove our most internal canister from our most external canister. To do so, I recommend pulling just straight up and placing your most external canister to the side. For your most internal canister, to remove your lid, once again you have 4 sets of latches, and you'll remove them 180 degrees across from each other. And pull up. For KidneyVault, we do have live chips and we want to ensure that they stay dry. I personally recommend stacking your most internal lid on your external canister and placing your lid. This ensures that your chips stay dry, as well as condensing the back table space so you have more room to do your assembly. For your most internal canister, you're going to have a couple of features. You're going to have this kidney retainer. In order to remove it, you'll go ahead and place your 2 fingers and pinch. And you can see that the kidney retainer is quite flexible. And then you'll also have your port connection. For the port connection, you can adjust this up and down for the renal artery tension. In order to do so, I recommend placing your thumb behind the port and then using your finger to guide it up and down to ensure that you have the correct height. Once you feel like you're confident with your port setting and you've removed your kidney retainer, you can go ahead and now add your kidney to the most internal canister. Now that we have the retainer removed and our port is in an adequate height, we'll go ahead and lift our kidney and support it and place it onto the kidney rest, which is right here indicated by these dashes. Place the kidney in. We'll go ahead and connect our perfusion port on the cannula to the port connection, and you'll push until it goes to a positive stop. Securing it. This is a great time to also make sure if you need to make any adjustments to your renal artery tension by making it lower or higher, you can make these adjustments. Now that we have the cannula pushed all the way into a positive stop, we're going to go ahead and place our kidney retainer in using these guideposts to go ahead and lower the retainer down. And we're going to look for either knuckle depth, so 1 knuckle down into the retainer, or 2 fingers underneath to ensure it's an accurate height. So go ahead and pinch the retainer together and guide it down these 2 posts. And then the tips of my knuckles, the very tip of my finger is hitting the top of the kidney, so I think that's an adequate height, or I can get 2 fingers underneath. This ensures that the kidney is having enough room to expand when perfusing, but also it's not too tight. It's important to assemble the retainer when the kidney is in the system without any liquid to ensure the kidney is not floating. Now that we have the kidney retainer placed and we ensured that no adjustments to the port height needs to be made, we're now ready to add 1 liter of machine perfusion solution. If you decant 1 liter, it typically goes in between these 2 screw lines for a visual. We do recommend that you do not fill this higher than this top screw. So once again, 1 liter of solution should get you in between these 2 screws. I'm now going to go ahead and decant 1 liter of machine perfusion solution. Now that we've decanted 1 liter of machine perfusion solution, this is a great opportunity to ensure whether or not your kidney is floating and if you should make any adjustments to your retainer by either raising it up if you think it's too tight or lowering it down if you see that the kidney is floating with excess fluid underneath it. If you also need to make any adjustments to the perfusion port, you can do so. And last thing you want to confirm prior to putting the most internal lid on is ensuring that your renal vein is facing up. If you feel confident in this assembly, then you can go ahead and place your most internal canister lid on. You'll go ahead and remove these latches 180 degrees from each other. Pick up your most internal lid. For your lid orientation, you're going to go ahead and place your fittings into this chamber. I like to refer to it as Santa's legs going down the chimney. And then do a secure press. We'll then go ahead and do our latches 180 degrees from each other. And now that we have an exposed chip on our back table, this should be our cue to automatically nest these two canisters. You'll lift it up and over, connecting these two chips, and then once again with another secure press down. Now that we have the most internal canister nested into the external canister, we're going to go ahead and remove the air from the pull port. A good thing to remember is when you're going to remove air from the system, you're going to remove one cap. And when you remove one cap, you should remove all three caps. So we'll have our pull cap, our vent port cap, and our fill cap. We'll go ahead and take these off. And get ready to remove the air from the pull port. To do this, you'll take your luer lock syringe, connect it, and we're going to be pulling the air from the system. So you'll pull back to remove the air, draw up some machine perfusion solution. This is still sterile solution if you used a sterile syringe, so you can reintroduce it back into the system through the fill port. Recommendation is going slow and steady so you don't introduce a lot of air bubbles. And we'll do this 3 times to ensure that we remove the air from the system and that we see no air bubbles in this pull port. Our last time. If at any time that you're trying to pull back the syringe and you're receiving a lot of pressure, it might not be connected all the way, so just ensure one additional twist to be able to pull back and receive that fluid into the syringe. Now that we've primed our pull port tubing, we can go ahead and cap. And now we're going to want to de-air the rest of this internal canister. This will be using that 2nd liter of machine perfusion solution. There's 2 ways to de-air this canister. You continue to draw out fluid in a basin or in a specimen cup and just administrate it through the fill port with a syringe, or you can connect your cysto tubing. If you use the cysto tubing, you'll connect it to your fill port connection, open your line, and wait till fluid comes out of your vent port. You'll want to do a quick tap to consolidate any additional bubbles, and then once again wait till fluid comes out of your vent port. Once you see fluid coming out of your vent port, you'll want to go ahead and stop your cysto tubing line, closing it off, and then ensure that you remove the cysto tubing from the fill port prior to capping the fill port or the vent port. Now that we're getting closer and we can see this bubble sort of consolidating, we'll either have our cysto tubing or our luer lock syringe connected. Do a quick tap to consolidate any smaller bubbles, and then continue pushing the solution in. And wait till fluid comes out of your vent port. You can go ahead and stop. Use a blue towel or lap to dry. Be careful to not press down too firmly. You'll want to remove your syringe connection or your cysto tubing prior to placing any caps. Once again, dry your fill and your vent. And then when capping, you always work outside in. So we've already capped our pull cap when we primed our pull port tubing. Our next cap will be our fill port, ensuring that the vent port is the last cap to be placed. Now that our caps are on, we're going to go ahead and place our external lid. The handle orientation matters. We do want it to go ahead and line up with our pull port, and then you'll do your latches 180 degrees across from each other before passing it off the sterile field.
If you have any questions after viewing these videos, please refer to the instructions for use or the quick reference cards that will come with every KidneyVault system. If you still have questions, please feel free to reach out to our 24/7 hotline or reference that through your Paragonix app.